Hello and welcome to the burning question on India Today, 9 a.m. on the Wednesday morning. And the focus today would be on Tamil Nadu. In Chennai, where the family feud of the DMK is going to play out on the streets of Chennai. The Alagiri strongman, his brother, his president's brother, MK Stalin's brother, Alagiri, is going to in fact throw out a challenge to him. Important thing here would be to see whether he is able to get the strength and a big show of strength that would, in fact, could possibly make things for Stalin in future difficult, especially with the eyes on the 2019 elections. We'll talk more about that. We'll get our reporters, guests to give you perspective on this big story developing in the south of India. Well, escalating the war against his own brother to gain re-entry in the DMK, expelled leader and DMK chief's estranged brother MK Alagiri is all set to hold a massive rally in Chennai today. The rally, touted to be Alagiri's show of strength against the newly elected DMK chief MK Stalin. The Madurai strongman has invited his supporters to pay homage to Karunanidhi. Arriving in Chennai on Tuesday, Alagiri said he will prove his strength during the rally with over 1 lakh supporters attending the event. Alagiri supporters are expected to assemble for the rally by 10 a.m. near the Triplicane police station. In fact, Alagiri has already declared a war against his brother Stalin to re-induct himself in the DMK. While the expelled leader has been making all the noises, DMK chief is in no mood to relent as of now. Top sources in the party confirm the party has decided to ignore Alagiri's plea. Listen into what, in fact, Alagiri had been saying during his attacks on MK Stalin's leadership, threatening to either re-induct him or face consequences.
தமிழ்நாட்டில் உள்ள அத்தனை விசுவாசிகளும் என்னுடைய பக்கம் இருக்கிறார்கள், என்னை ஆதரித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். ஆகவே இதற்கு காலம் பின்னால் பதில் சொல்லும் என்பதை இப்போது நான் இதோடு முடித்துக் கொள்கிறேன். கலைஞர் இப்போ இல்லை, அந்த கட்சியை காப்பாற்றணும், அந்த எண்ணத்தில் நாங்கள் இறங்கணும். அவங்க அதை சேர்த்துக்கலன்னா அதுக்கப்புறம் பின்பக்க விளைவுகளை அவங்கள தான் அனுமதிக்கணும். காப்பாற்றுறதுன்னா வேறு அது என்ன நடவடிக்கை? ஆக்சிஜனை கொடுத்துட்டு இருக்காங்க கட்சிக்கு. அதனால கட்சியை காப்பாற்றுறதுக்காக நாங்கள் இறக்கிருக்கோம். அவங்க சேர்த்துக்கலன்னா நாங்கள் என்ன பண்ணுறதுன்னு பின்னாடி தான் நாங்கள் இதெல்லாம் முடிவு கொடுப்போம்.
இல்லை, அவங்க கட்சியில் சேர்த்து கொண்டால் நீங்கள் இணைந்து பணியாற்ற தயாராக
தான் இருக்கோம். அதுதானே சொல்லிகிட்டே தானே இருக்கோம். ஒரு கட்சியில் இணைக்க மாட்டேன்றது தானே சொல்கிறோம். நாங்கள் கட்சியில் இணைய தயாராக இருக்கிறோம்.
Well, earlier India Today exclusively spoke to Alagiri, and my colleague Lokpriya, in fact, spoke to him about his plans as far as this big rally is concerned.
திமுகல வந்து நீங்க இணைவீங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறீங்களா சார்? உங்களை இணைச்சுப்பாங்கன்னு நீங்க நினைக்கிறீங்களா?
நான் ஏற்கனவே பேட்டி கொடுத்துருக்கேன். அவங்க இணைக்கிற மூட்ல இல்லைன்னு, இணைக்கிற லெவல்ல இல்லைன்னு நான் கொடுத்துருக்கேன்.
28ஆம் தேதி வந்து இப்போ ஸ்டாலின் அவர்களை வந்து தலைவராக்குவாங்கன்னு நினைக்கிறாங்க. அதை பத்தி உங்களோட கருத்து என்ன சார்?
தெரியாதுங்க. அவர் செயல் தலைவராக இப்ப தலைவராக செயல் இல்லைன்றதுனால தலைவராக.
Now, this is our top focus on the burning question, and we are asking, will Stalin relent on Alagiri's re-entry? Will this show of strength have the effect that possibly Alagiri is hoping for? Can Anna force Thambi for DMK re-entry? Rebel Alagiri down but not out yet. Is he now playing on his reserve fuel, his final push to get back into the party fold? And can Alagiri still damage Stalin? And has Stalin decisively won the DMK battle of succession? Will this rally in any way broker truce or challenge Thalaivar? Let me introduce my guest on the show. T.S. Sudhir, political analyst, is also joining us on the broadcast. Muridharan Shivalingam, activist, is in Chennai, and he's joining us from there. Narayan Lakshman, associate editor, The Hindu, is also joining us on the broadcast. We are being joined by S. Srinivasan, senior journalist, on this show as well. Before, in fact, I go to my guest, let me just very quickly take you to this graphic that we have prepared on the basic feud. What and why is it that both these brothers can't see eye to eye, and what is the genesis of the feud between them? Let's take a look at the feud between both these brothers. and then we'll go to our guest. Well, Karunanidhi anointed Stalin as his political heir. That did not go down well with his elder brother, Alagiri. In 2010, Alagiri announces Karunanidhi steps down as the party chief. In fact, this was when he had an outburst against his own father. In 2013, Karunanidhi says Stalin would continue his social work throughout his political career. And in fact, it's been seen how Stalin, in fact, rose from the ranks to reach where he is today. And 2013, Alagiri, DMK not much to anoint next pontiff. So he has been hitting out at his former, late father as well, as far as Stalin is concerned. In 2014, Alagiri was expelled over his anti-party activities. He was thrown out of the party by his own father. Post that, in 2017, Stalin takes over as the DMK working president because of the ill health of Karunanidhi. He was, in fact, given charge. And in 7 December 2017, Alagiri blames Stalin for the R.K. Nagar bypoll's defeat. Remember the constituency of former Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, J. Lalita. On 13th August 2018, Alagiri claims support of all Kalaina loyalists. This is after the demise of his father, M.K. Karunanidhi. And on the 13th August 2018, DMK, in fact, he said that DMK is digging its own grave by not re-inducting him in the party fold. This is a threat that he has, repeated many times. And Alagiri also dubbed Stalin as an inefficient working president. That was just a few days back on 23rd August 2018. Post that, now Stalin has been given the complete charge of the party. And Alagiri today is trying to once again, his possibly last-ditch effort to show his strength and try and get some way to enter the party. Let me go across to my guest on the show, T.S. Sudhir. Sudhir, this show of strength by Alagiri, how important is this? And is it in any way, if he has the numbers, if he is able to come up with a large crowd, is it in any way going to sway the decision in his favor as far as the DMK is concerned, or all doors are firmly shut and locked for him?
Well, Ankit, I would say that Alagiri is in a slightly difficult position. Assuming that he gets a crowd, he has been speaking about a figure of about 1 lakh people who will march with him to his father's memorial at the Marina beach. If he gets the numbers, questions will be asked whether he did so with the help of anti-DMK opponents in the Tamil Nadu political theatre. On the other hand, if he does not get the numbers are lackluster, obviously he will be dismissed as a no-hope or someone who has been out on the first ball of the match. In fact, Alagiri, I would say in cricketing parlance, is trying to make a comeback of sorts. But this is going to be a very difficult comeback in his second innings, because the wicket is going to be unpredictable, in fact almost unplayable as far as he's concerned. He has no good batsmen or bowlers in his side. In fact, all the lead bowlers and batsmen seem to be on his brother Stalin's side. So in that sense, the odds are stacked against Alagiri. Yes, he has also been making noises that he would like to get back to the DMK. He's willing to accept Stalin's leadership. But that also seems to indicate that he does not really have many aces up his sleeve, that he's fighting a very lonely battle at this point in time as far as the internal politics of the DMK is concerned.
Let me also get in Narayan Lakshman, associate editor at Hindu, who is also joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Lakshman, what do you see as the future for Alagiri, irrespective of what kind of rally he is able to, or what kind of show of strength he is able to come up with? As Sudhir was pointing out, questions would be asked on who are these people, those who are supporting him.
Absolutely, Ankit. I think that whatever outcome we see here, Alagiri is going to have to do something rather dramatic. So on the one hand, as we saw, he has already made some overtures to Stalin. While he certainly said this party is in trouble, or sounded a bit sort of ominous about the future of the DMK, he has also said, if you admit me back into the party and I'm willing to accept him as the leader of the party, then things could look up for the DMK. So that is one potential outcome we're looking at, Ankit, where he actually is admitted back in the fold. Although as of now, as others have noted too, there is no indication of that, because right from the MLAs down to the district secretaries, everybody, every DMK cadre or member is with MK Stalin. Now, the other rather even more dramatic and possibly less likely outcome is that he throws in his lot with another party or floats his own party. And in such a scenario, I don't see his odds of really, being a big player on the scene as very high. Because there again, whatever currency he has with the DMK is going to be completely lost, and that is really his best avenue for making an impact on the Tamil Nadu political scene.
All right, gentlemen, just stay on with me. Let me also very quickly go across to my colleague Lokpriya Vasudevan, who is joining us for a live update from, in fact, the rally venue of M.K. Alagiri. Lokpriya, the time they had given was 10 a.m. So it's just about an hour to go before the people start coming in, for the supporters of Alagiri start coming in. What's the situation right now as far as the bandobast is concerned? What kind of arrangement has been made for this big rally?
Well, yes, Ankit, the crowds have started to trickle in here at the Triplicane police station. It is from this point the rally will begin. This is a silent rally where Alagiri, along with his supporters, will march to the Anna Memorial to pay homage to Karunanidhi. These are the cadre supporters who have come from all parts of Tamil Nadu, specifically from Madurai. Most of them from the hometown of Alagiri, to say of sorts. And these cadres have gathered here to pay their silent rally. If I can take you through the rally here. This is the poster. This is a poster that has been done. This is a silent rally that they have now. Very important for Alagiri, because this rally will determine his future course of action. Alagiri is not yet arrived. He will arrive here at about 10 a.m. after which the rally will start from here.
Not so silent right now with the rally and the supporters there for Alagiri. Lokpriya, thank you so much. We will come back to you once again in a short while from now. Let me get in very quickly at this point of time, and on your screens you can see the route. If you are in Chennai, you should in fact see this route and avoid the places where the rally will be moving towards and from, because this is going to create a lot of traffic trouble for the people there on these very points. Now, let me also very quickly go across, in fact, to Mr. Srinivasan, who is also joining us on the broadcast. The question that a lot of people would be asking, Mr. Srinivasan, would be that why should Stalin take him back? There is no moral authority that Alagiri has to ask him to take him back into the party fold. His father was the one who threw him out. There doesn't seem to be any reason for him to get him back, and possibly in few years or in few months in any way, be in a risk of Alagiri trying to create some sort of a revolt within the party.
It's a difficult question for Stalin to answer right now. It's true that Stalin is in a very strong ground right now, and Alagiri has not been able to throw a kind of challenge so far. Now, we have to see actually how the rally goes today. But there are two reasons why Stalin would be looking at this issue carefully. One, winnability is very important for Stalin, and he has to yet prove, after becoming a complete president of the party, after he has taken over, that he can win elections. Though the cadres are rallying behind him, he has to immediately show in the two forthcoming by-elections. The other issue is Alagiri has a certain support base in the southern Tamil Nadu. At least 20 to 25 assembly seats in the past, he has proved that he can sway the votes. And Alagiri is a bit of a maverick. Earlier also, once he was down, and then he managed to come back, stage a comeback, by getting victory to DMK in 3 by-elections. Now, of course, one of the by-election, which is called Thirumangalam formula, is it's quite debatable the way he won and how the cash for vote was introduced in the body politics of Tamil Nadu. That's a debatable and controversial issue, but he is said to be the author of that. So Stalin has to manage Alagiri very carefully, because keeping him out, he will constantly going to make these noises. Bringing him in also could be proved to be a thorn on the side. So he has to actually see how to manage him.
Let me also get in a quick word at this point of time from Mr. Muridharan Shivalingam. The question that a lot of people are asking is that, is Alagiri now being used as a pawn to weaken the DMK? Because there is a lot of chaos and confusion as far as the AIDMK is concerned. If he can be used by possibly, allegations are that by the BJP or the AIDMK, certain leaders in the AIDMK pushing him, in fact, to take this fight with his brother, further as we go along and near to the elections of 2019. Is there now an attempt to use him as a pawn in the politics of the DMK to weaken the other Dravidian party as well?
As of now, no, Ankit, I don't think so, because nobody has approached him as yet. And he is still showing his, interest in joining the party. He has not said that, you want to break the party or you want to go and join somebody else. So it's very clear that he wants to join the party, be with the family. Now it's up to Stalin how he manages his brother. Now he's not an enemy, he's a brother, his own blood brother. So he should be able to manage him. Now if he doesn't manage him, what's going to happen is Alagiri may not contribute much right now, but he can create huge damage for, DMK. For a simple reason, Alagiri is a believer, whereas, Stalin pretends to be an atheist. This Alagiri, if he goes and joins, let's say BJP wants to create trouble, and if they pull him in, and he can create huge damage to, DMK. He can, as Mr. Srinivasan said, he has a very good stronghold in the south, but if he joins BJP, I can tell you one thing, he's going to split DMK into two. So he can create more damage than being inside the party than outside the party. So that's what Stalin has to be wary of.
Sudhir, also the fact, and I just want to pick up from what Mr. Shivalingam is saying, that if Stalin is not seen, at least perception-wise, is not able to manage his brother, then won't there be a question that, he can't keep his own family together? How is he going to take forward a party after Karunanidhi?
Well, as far as Stalin is concerned, Ankit, he maintains that Alagiri was expelled from the DMK in 2014 by his father, the then leader of the DMK, Karunanidhi. So he sees really no reason to get his brother back, overturning the decision taken by Karunanidhi 4 years back. Number two, I'm a little amused by the AIDMK representative talking quite big and in rather flattering terms about Alagiri's potential to damage the DMK. In 2011, I would like to remind him that his leader, Jayalalitha, had said that the 2011 assembly verdict was also a verdict on the Gunda Raj, quote unquote, of Alagiri in the southern part of Tamil Nadu, chiefly Madurai. So in that sense, if the AIDMK then believed that Alagiri was a liability, I am surprised to see how after 4 years in the wilderness, completely out of active politics, suddenly in 2018, Alagiri suddenly becomes a force to reckon with who could actually damage the DMK. Yes, he has damaged the DMK in the past, but that was way back in 2001 when he engineered the defeat of a prominent DMK candidate from Madurai constituency. But at this point in time, Alagiri is not even seen really as a pan-Tamil Nadu leader. His strength, if it were so, is only limited to the pockets of Madurai and some parts of southern Tamil Nadu. So in that sense, today, what happens in Chennai, more than Chennai, it will be Madurai which will be looking at the developments in Chennai keenly to see whether this man can actually make a comeback of sorts.
Okay, very interesting how you put it there, and also interesting what Mr. Shivalingam is saying. Possibly that is exactly what the AIDMK is hoping for, more chaos in their primary opposition party as well, so that there is more confusion as far as the voters are concerned. Mr. Narayan Lakshman, where do you see Alagiri being or standing or fitting in the larger scheme of things as far as the politics of Tamil Nadu is concerned? Things have changed in the last year or so after the demise of Jayalalitha and now Karunanidhi. Both the Dravidian parties are not as strong as they used to be at one point of time. New players coming in, BJP trying to get a foothold there. How do you see if for him, any role for him outside the DMK? How potentially he, where he could align and make himself more viable as far as the politics is concerned?
I must agree with Sudhir, T.S. Sudhir, Ankit, because I do think that as a force in politics, in state politics, his potential is quite limited. So, for example, for better or worse, he's associated with this sort of more thuggish element. He's been linked to the burning of the Dinakaran offices in 2007, the murder of Thakiruthanan, although he was acquitted in that case. And there have been several clashes of violent goons who have been associated with it. And right now, the DMK is actually trying to shed that image of any thuggishness ever it has been linked to. And Stalin, for example, in his attire and he's trying to tap, he wears the pant and shirt, he's shed that traditional white dhoti and shirt image. And they're trying to tap into the imagination of the youth voter. And frankly, as far as Alagiri goes, his prospects are much greater if he enters the party and then, or he's admitted into the party by his brother, and then, he finds his place within the party. And so far as the DMK itself is concerned, I must say one thing, Ankit, which is that this inflection point in Tamil Nadu politics that you talked about too, which is that the powerful leaders on both parties have left the scene, M. Karunanidhi and J. Jayalalitha. There is an opportunity to start speaking in the language of governance. Earlier, it was the language of powerful leaders who controlled state politics, and in turn, there was a lot of looting going on. There was rampant corruption. Industries have left the state. Many crises were not dealt with. Now is an opportunity for whichever party, either party, to start speaking the language of good governance. And therein the DMK, with or without Alagiri, can emerge as a party which is stable and which takes on this language, this currency, and that could help it in the future elections.
Muralidharan Shivalingam, isn't this what would be the biggest trouble for the AIDMK? Because they have, since the demise of Jayalalitha, have not been able to put their house in order. Factions within the party, charges of of absolutely negligence as far as the governance is concerned, and being a pawn as far as the BJP goes. It is seen as BJP is controlling the government in Tamil Nadu. An example once again was this unpopular entire student feud with the BJP party chief in the state of Tamil Nadu. In that scenario, no matter what happens, DMK still holds an upper hand as far as the politics of Tamil Nadu is concerned.
Not at all, Ankit. I'll tell you why. Because all this, whatever the disturbance which happened in ADMK, that's 1 year old. The governance is back and it's in full swing. And I don't think there's a paralysis of governance here. Everything is perfect and it's all going on smoothly. Now what we are seeing is we don't see any more charismatic leaders anymore, but there is governance happening, which I think Mr. Lakshman, Mr. Narayan should agree with me. And though they have a difference of opinion with me in the way I look at the DMK, we are a party which have broken and we are patched up and we are, getting stronger day by day. They haven't broken it. Every party goes through this once senior leader departs. Now, what you need to understand, when Alagiri was expelled, it was expelled by the earlier president, Mr. Karunanidhi. He was his father. So he has all his respect for his father and he walked out very quietly. But you can't say the same thing right now, because again, the throne is one and there are two brothers. And the elderly always has the right to claim for it. Because dynastic politics is always the elderly who gets the
Sir, gone are those days, sir. I mean, it's no longer the Mughal era or that the heir to the throne is in fact the elder brother. Gone are those days, and prime example possibly is what is happening in the DMK as well. But Mr. Srinivasan, isn't this in some way going to affect the chances of both the Dravidian parties? Because we have seen in large manner, barring Alagiri, a very smooth transition from Kalayana to, in fact, MK Stalin. There was a succession plan. The man was always touted to take over from his father, and on the other side, when you look at the AIADMK, things have not been smooth. Even right now, whether Mr. Muralidharan wants to acknowledge it or not, there are still factionalism, both the sides. There is a lot of confusion as far as AIADMK is concerned.
You're right. Actually, the two parties are not exactly comparable. AIADMK has suffered a huge fracture within, and it is trying to cope up with this. And I don't think Edapadi has shown any great governance so far, though he is trying his best, but there are a lot of fissures within. As far as DMK is concerned, as I said earlier, Stalin is clearly on a very strong footing. The succession has been well planned. He has been at the helm of the party for the last 4 years. Even when his father was alive, he was there handling most of the issues. And then when he was in hospital, again, it was Stalin who was handling it. If you look at from that scenario, DMK is slightly better placed. But what is important for DMK is to prove that it can win the election, forthcoming elections very successfully. The thing is, Stalin has to now show that it's a winning machine.
Yes.
As far as Alagiri is concerned, I do agree with other panelists. As of now, he's not a big challenge. He is actually, he's more of a right now irritant for the party than what he was.
Okay.
But all I'm trying to say is, when it comes to the winnability factor, when the polity is highly fractured, when there are so many factions, so many parties, two stars also entering into the fray.
Absolutely.
Therefore, every vote counts, and therefore all alliances are going to be important, and therefore Alagiri could try to, that's what he's trying in right now. To
as you called him, as of now, he's an irritant who possibly could in future do some sort of a damage to the DMK. Well, amidst the Alagiri challenge, Stalin cracks down on the dissent within the party. The DMK has suspended Ravi, a party functionary who was in fact receiving Alagiri at the Chennai airport on Monday. M. Ravi is the area secretary of the Velachery in Chennai. In fact, a statement from the DMK secretary has said Ravi is being suspended from the DMK for bringing disrepute to the party. Going across to my colleague Lokpriya Vasudevan, who is joining me for more on this story. Lokpriya, signs that that Stalin is now not going to take any nonsense. Anybody seen even near Alagiri would have to pay consequences within the party.
Well, definitely, yes, Ankit. Stalin wants to send out a very strong message to the party cadres. He wants to set example that if anybody supports Alagiri in any way, they will also be expelled from the party. Because remember, Alagiri was expelled from the party in 2014 for anti-party activities. And on Tuesday, the DMK had expelled Ravi, who is a party functionary and area secretary of Velachery locality in Chennai. He is one of the lower level party cadres in the DMK, and he had gone to receive Alagiri at the airport on Monday morning, and the DMK has now taken action against him. So this is an example that DMK wants to send out to possibly other cadres who are thinking of switching over to the Alagiri camp, if at all there is any.
Right, Lokpriya, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. And, Sudhir, if I can come to you on this, in fact, now, this is a sign that possibly right at the beginning of this rally that Stalin has given across, there is absolutely no future or space for Alagiri in his party. Anybody seen with him will be dealt very harshly as far as the new DMK president is concerned.
That's pretty much the message that is coming out from the Stalin camp. In fact, interestingly, Ankit, on the 31st of August, the DMK re-inducted two leaders it had expelled in the past. One of them had gone over to the AIDMK and came back, someone called Pandian. Another person was also a DMK minister in the 90s. Both of them were taken back into the party. The message Stalin was also trying to send out was that there is space for anyone but Alagiri as far as the DMK is concerned. So today's crackdown on this person who had gone to greet Alagiri is a clear message to the rest of the DMK cadre that this kind of behavior will definitely not be brooked as far as Stalin is concerned in the DMK.
Mr. Narayan Lakshman, as Stalin now, in fact, acts tough. He gives this message across that there is no space for Alagiri. In this scenario, how will this affect, in fact, the family dynamics within the DMK family? Because he still is the brother. Is the entire family firmly behind Stalin at this point of time?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ankit, because as we know, in a sense, the Karunanidhi family has been the first family of the DMK, both in terms of party politics as well as when they were in government in terms of broader control over different aspects of governance. Now, I think there are several people within the family who may try to play peacemaker. So one of them is Selvi, the sister of Stalin and Alagiri, and the other potentially is their half-sister Kanimozhi, who of course enjoys a rather powerful position within the party itself and is viewed very favorably by Stalin. However, both of them, Selvi as well as Kanimozhi, enjoy a positive relationship with Alagiri, which goes a long way back. Now, initially, the speculation was that Selvi, for example, might exert a lot of pressure on Stalin after their father's passing, to build bridges immediately with Alagiri, bring him back, heal that sort of gap between them, the wound between them, and then unite the family around the party and move forward. Now that has proven not to be true. That has proven to be to have been belied, because obviously the immediate response of the entire DMK was that they are going to remain with Stalin and not even respond to the Alagiri challenge, thereby preventing Alagiri from gaining even that minimal level of prominence even in the news cycle and so forth. And if you look at what Alagiri is doing, it's the exact opposite. Whether you're looking at this peace rally or the continuous barrage of statements that he's releasing to the media, he is trying to stay relevant in the media cycle and in terms of the public discourse and the public view. So I think from Alagiri's point of view, he has seen that, I mean, I'm sure he was, of course, very mournful at his father's passing, but he has seen it as the first and maybe the only opportunity for him to make another attempt or to claim a stake again within the party politics, because as long as M. Karunanidhi was alive, there was no way that he could come back, given that, as someone else pointed out, in 2014 his own father ejected him from the party.
Right. Mr. Srinivasan, at this point of time, when you see on the morning of this rally, Stalin sending a very strong message, is there now, how is Alagiri camp going to receive this? Because they are desperate, they are threatening, they are pleading, they are doing everything that they can to in fact try and get some space for themselves and possibly for his future and for his son and the next generation of the leaders in the DMK. He's trying to get a place secured for them as well. This message on the morning of his rally, how is it going to be received by Alagiri?
Yes, of course, it's a firm warning to all the, cadres from Stalin that nobody should go with Alagiri. I think in a way it is expected, because he has recently taken over as a party president formally, and he has to demonstrate that he is in firm control of the party. It is right now Alagiri himself has actually come down. Earlier he had said that he won't accept anybody as leader except Karunanidhi. But he has, come down on his own terms, and he's saying that he's willing to accept Stalin as a leader. Obviously, these conciliatory approach or signals from Alagiri has been rejected by Stalin. There has been complete silence from Stalin or his general secretary. Both of them have been very quiet. But going forward, it is Alagiri who will. It's also a challenge for Alagiri how he constantly tries to keep himself relevant. Neither in the family nor outside he has any great support right now. And today's, kind of a rally which he has organized, he's trying to demonstrate, that he has some support on the ground. And, it's not Madurai. He is trying to show that he can even come to Chennai and challenge Stalin. Now, whether today's rally fizzles out or, he is actually able to demonstrate some kind of strength on the ground is yet to be seen. But as far as the current situation is concerned, it looks very unlikely that he would be able to do anything like that. So therefore, if Stalin has taken a firm course of action, it's also a bit of a difficult situation for Alagiri now. He is constantly trying to keep
Mr. Srivilingam, is there space, and let me ask you this question very straight, is there space for Alagiri, as panelists are calling him as of now, the irritant as far as the DMK is concerned in AIADMK?
Come again, Ankit, I didn't get you, sorry.
I'm saying that is there any space for this estranged brother? You wanted both these brothers to in fact reconcile, but is there any space for him as far as the AIADMK is concerned? Would the party be open to that sort of an idea?
See, that's a party high command to decide, but I'll tell you, in politics there's no permanent enemies, right? And there's no permanent friend also. So you never know. And, taking these facts, like you asked me, there's a huge, governance breakdown in Tamil Nadu, etc. See, I need to tell you, 3 recent surveys. One is conducted by another TV channel, which clearly said next to Stalin, he was commanding something like 41% of vote share. The next to him was, Edapadi. And Mr. Edapadi was commanding something close to 25% of vote share, in spite of all the setbacks we had. Next is the best governed states. Tamil Nadu is number 2 after Kerala, and the best among the states which people consider to invest is Tamil Nadu was in the top 3. So even after all the setbacks, I think we are doing okay. I mean, it's not as how it's projected. And you also brought up the issue of Madam Tamilisai of BJP. Now you need to understand, see, these last 20 days, there's no unrest, there's no chaos in Tamil Nadu. The simple reason is DMK was busy. It's all DMK instigated. Even the Tamilisai issue, it was made trending in Twitter. People outside the public, nobody even knew about the issue till the time, people in the media picked it up. And it was made trending. All this was done by DMK. And it was such a trivial issue, it was made into a mountain out of nothing.
Sir, it can't be a trivial issue.
They keep playing.
It never can be a trivial issue if the party chief of a party, and I'm not condoning what that girl did inside the aircraft, but it can't be a trivial issue when a party chief behaves in the manner she did and in fact puts people in prison for expressing their views. The place could have been wrong. She did not raise any immediate threat to the woman. It was her choice or her freedom of expression at that point of time. Also understand, if there was some disturbance that she created, the complaint should have come from the airlines, not from the BJP chief. I have to leave it there. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me this morning and giving us your views on this story, which is shaping up in Tamil Nadu as of now. The consensus of the panelists seems to be that Alagiri doesn't pose any challenge, immediate challenge to, in fact, his brother MK Stalin. He is, as one of the panelists said, at best an irritant right now. But for Stalin, this is not the only challenge. There are, of course, other things, other mountains that he has to climb and win elections to prove his mettle and to firmly gain support and control of his own party.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.